Game on, everyone! Duels of the Spellslingers tournament number 4. Before we get into today's match, I just wanted to give a shout out to Queen83, Jokes to Jesus, and Tortuga, and now Antlr for creating these videos, making it possible for us to have this tournament. And also to notify you guys, we have an active Patreon now. Some of our editing costs are going to go paying to that. And we're going to also have a podcast. And I believe the first podcast comes out this weekend. And we're going to be talking about some exciting things as of April 11th. Today's April the 9th of recording. But on April 11th, we're going to have a new patch and tons of plainswalker updates. So be sure to subscribe and check out our podcast. I think it's on the Patreon. We'll probably have a link in the video. And with that, we're going to start today's match. I believe it's going to be... it's going to be Antlr, one of our esteemed editors, on Cure, versus Blue Drogo on that white and green tiger guy. His name will come to me in a minute. Johnny. There we go, Johnny. So Johnny's rocking that Forest Arena, which I believe at turn 4, or rather turn 5. So when you have 4 mana and you're going on to your 5th turn, it can trigger to give you +2/+2 and ward. While Kiora instead went for the plain land, so that means Kiora was going for a long game. Even though we are only allowing components to have, or rather contestants, to have cards that are 5 mana or less, it looks like Kiora is still going to be able to have some interesting plays when she can ramp her mana. Alright, so Antlr is turn 2, plays a 4/3 Tusken guy. Blue Drogo on a Johnny has 3 mana, one of which is a gem. Plays the Steed. I think he's going to play the Steed. Are you going to play the Steed? I mean, there's so many plays you can do. And see, we have that Elite Forest Ranger, the 3 mana. And that's very nice against Cure, because Cure is known for having Sylvan Shrine, Panharmonicon, those artifacts. But as it is, Blue Drogo plays the Steed +2/+2. And Blue Drogo, do you give it to your Johnny Skirmisher? Yeah, you do, right? Because the Johnny Skirmisher gives you that +1 damage every time it receives or targeting, or every time it gets targeted. So anyways, of course, Blue Drogo doesn't attack, and Cure is going to attack. I don't think Blue Drogo is going to draw. Yeah, because a Johnny Skirmisher can grow to unparalleled amounts of power with that trample damage and that +1 extra damage every time it gets buffed. Antlr plays the Kiora, I believe it's Tide Shaper or Tide Shifter, to give itself +1 mana, so it's now 1 more ahead compared to a Johnny. A Johnny's turn, so probably will not attack, or could do the Armadillo Cloak. 3 mana, gives it +2/+2, and fully heals and wards it. So it makes it a 6/5 trample ward. Alright, so that's the play going in, and let's see if Antlr blocks. I think he might block, because 6 damage to the face without being able to deal with this is a bit of a problem. I'm going to assume, because the entry rounds are all going to be cards of 5 mana or less, blue cards, so in this case it affects Cures, like blue cards like Unsummon for 2 mana and that 5 mana bird that unsummons, they are less favorable because your opponent will no longer have big cards that cost like 6 mana or more to play. So you're going to want to trade instead, you're going to want to trade evenly. And those unsummon for 2 mana, I mean, you're just going to maybe unsummon a 3 mana card, and maybe at most a 5 mana card. But suddenly unsummon is not as powerful as it was in the other tournament, number 3. Anyways, Antlr attacks 2/2, and they trade, of course, because you don't want to get rid of the 6/1, you want to keep it down. Antlr plays the, I believe it's Soul Forest, the 3/3. Anyways, when it dies, it gives Antlr 3 life, and also the 2/4 Ranger. So Blue Drogo, what are you going to play at 5 mana? You could burn it, or you could do 4 mana, which is the Stoneforge Mystic and the Ruin and the Daughter. But I think you want to keep that 6/2. You want to somehow buff it. Yeah, maybe with a lucky Stoneforge Mystic, give it flying, or relentless, or sneak, or something to basically go over and just hit Antlr straight in the face. So what do you choose? Are you going to choose the flying or the sneak? Okay. So we give it the ward. I don't know if you're going to do it now, Blue Drogo, because it's going to be basically something with 2 life if you cast it, and it's still going to die to the 2/4 or the 3/3. So you could use it, but it doesn't make it a favorable trade because you want to keep it alive. You want to grow that Ajani Skirmisher to be out of control. So I think that's what Blue Drogo is going for, and maybe that's why Ajani is having a bit of trouble deciding what to do. Do you attack? Okay, so it's going to be... Are you going to do it? Yeah, it looks like he's going to do it. All right, so it's going to be an 8/2. It still has ward because, I mean, we just cast ward on it with the Stoneforge Mystics, buff. But that 8/2, you either have to attack or it starts to feel like it's dead weight because you're spending all your buffs on it, but you're not using it. And so suddenly, even though the board pressure is there, even though there's board pressure, you can suddenly get things like this attack going in. And suddenly, alright, so Antlr has 6 mana and he's probably going to play that. There we go. Elvish Explorer. Whenever it gets blocked, Antlr gets +1 empty mana gems. And I think it's going to look like there's a Giant Growth 2 mana left over. Oh no, never mind. Antlr plays the Anticipate, allows him to draw the card, and he gets that little baby mammoth. So at 5 mana, without triggering the Force Arena, Ajani has some decisions. Probably is going to, use the Staff of Fortitude to give it 4 life. So it makes it a 9/4. Oh no! Network reconnection. Alright, we don't know whose side that is on, but it looks like it's Antlr's problem because Ajani is still going strong. So anyways, Staff of Fortitude makes it a 9/4, but again, it's not favorable to trade it in. And you just want to go to a 10/5 or something with 5 life, right? Alright, so that's maybe the answer to make it favorable. Blindside, and now we can go in. Now we can smack for a ton of damage. And I don't want to call it, but if Antlr doesn't have a drag under, doesn't have an unsummon, I think this is where that Ajani Skirmisher becomes out of control. Luckily for Kiora, it looks like we already used up 1 Stoneforge Mystic, and we didn't have a Panharmonicon, so that ward is gone. And there are not too many other green creatures that can give it ward, except for maybe the Armadillo Cloak, but that was already used. So hopefully Antlr draws top decks an answer. No, that's too bad. So next turn it's going to be in a 10/3 Ajani Skirmisher, at least a 10/3, right? Because of the Staff of Fortitude. Maybe the Steed will make it a 11/4, or rather 12/4, and it's just going to hit Antlr in the face so hard. So he really, really needs an answer to the Ajani Skirmisher, and I just don't see that happening. So again, I don't want to call it too early, but it really feels like it's spiraled out of control. So let's see how it goes. It's really Blue Drogo's game to lose, at least given the current board pressure. It is 6 cards Ajani to 4 cards Kiora, and Blue Drogo Ajani is having a life total that is 5 HP higher. So I think he would just, you would heal that. Okay, there we go. That's the play. Maybe fully heal and do the Fortitude Staff and do the Steed and just buff the living crap out of it. Oh, that's unfortunate. There's still a network connection issue, and I think Antlr just needs to block this guy and just attack with it to becoming an extremely unfavorable trade for Antlr. So he's gonna charge that a shield trap, and oh gosh, that's so rough. So Ajani, interestingly enough, Ajani is known for buffing the absolute living crap out of all of his creatures. However, there are answers which come in the form of unsummons, especially for Kiora playing blue. But because again this entry round, players are using cards of 5 mana or less, unsummon and that bird unsummon just feel less favorable. So I don't know if players will be adding it to their decks, and we haven't seen it used so far by Kiora. Luckily, this entry round is best 2 out of 3, so maybe we'll have it next turn. so that we can have a very real and very easily accessible answer on Kiara's side. Anyways, as it is, Blue Drogo casts, yeah, gives it +1/+1, becomes a 13/11, will absolutely blow out of the water that 8/6 trample reach guy on Kiara's side. I think you might as well just attack, yeah, because 13 damage, you have to block with the 6, and that's still going to be -7. Yeah, it's going to bring Antlr to 6 HP, so maybe Antlr can block the 3/1 with the 4/4, or the 2/2, sure, why not, whatever works for you, and it's just out to bring Gorm the Great, right? There we go, and yeah, Gorm has the 4/4, wow, with the protection, the armor, and it's a 10/9 now. So that's pretty much game. There are no answers in Antlr's hand, and I don't think he's going to attack with the 4/4. It would just get destroyed by Gorm the Great. So Blue Drogo is probably going to go all in attack. There's no need to cast anything. You've won the game already. Just go in, and it's Antlr probably just going to pass. Are you going to pass? Antlr, nope. He's going to block. All right. Still going to take some game-ending damage. There we go. Very well done. So this is the power of Ajani. Spiraling your board absolutely out of control without any unsummon or, flagrant fouls. But I mean, there's not going to be flagrant fouls. It's Kiara. So really, the only answer is unsummon or just a stun to buy a turn. But as it is, anyways, we're going to go into round 2. So well done.
Round 2. Fight!
And round 2 is going to be the same Plainswalkers, Kiara versus Ajani, but this time, who's it going to be? It's going to be, okay, so Antlr's going to go first. And Antlr gets the, there we go. So that's another answer. I can't read it. But anyways, it's the 4 mana that turns your creature into a 0/6 turtle. There we go. Antlr turn 1 passes. Nothing to play. And Ajani normally doesn't pass on turn 1. So here we see sort of that problem not having the Ajani Skirmisher. So let's see if the lack of extreme buildup works in Kiara's favor. I mean, we do get the 2/2 now as the 3/3 steed. But yeah, see, that 2 mana gets countered by another 2 mana, which is the 4/3. So maybe Blue Drogo is going to charge the shield. Or, okay, that works too. Elvish Infuser. There we go. So I don't know if you're going to block. Maybe block with the 0/1 fish, or maybe just take the damage to the face. But either way, it's not a favorable block, and it makes you question. So I might keep the 4/3 there, just take the 3 damage. But keeping the 4/3 there prevents the 2/2 from attacking next turn. But anyways, as it is, Antlr decides to block, and it makes it now a 3/1 steed. Next turn at 3 mana. Okay, so we do have Unsummon Bird. Yeah, next turn at 3 mana. So he plays a 3/3 Soul of the Forest that gives you 3 life. And I guess that's the only play you could do at 3 mana, right? It's better than the Divination to draw 2 cards. That's probably not the play, because then you just open your board up. Blue Drogo coming in with 3 mana. Okay, Staff of Fortitude, and I'm assuming it will be shields up to get rid of that 3/3. It's going to attack with a 3/1. Probably not the 2/2, yeah. And Antlr, do you block? Do you block? Because you know there is a shields up based on your previous match, I believe. So, okay, all right, very well done. Yeah. So Antlr read Blue Drogo like a book. Chapter 1. There is a armor trap. So block with your fish to trigger it, and keep your 3/3 on board. So that is a perfect read on Blue Drogo, but there is no answer. So it's a perfect read, but there is no perfect answer on Antlr's side. Blue Drogo giving his Elvish guy another 2 life, triggering the... Okay, so he there we go. He uses that turtle spell and attacks with the 3/3, and I don't know if that's the answer, because we already know, at least from Antlr's side, we don't know. Like, Antlr doesn't know that Blue Drogo has Gorm the Great, but from his experience from last turn, we do know he has it. So it might have been wiser to save it and just let that 3/1 come through with 3 damage. Because it's only a 3/1, right? But as it is, Antlr has used it, and now Blue Drogo has a Stoneforge Mystic we can't see what he's gonna get until he gets it. So let's see. Do you get a ward? Do you get relentless? Do you get flying? Or do you just get insane stats like the +4/+1? I believe it can also come. We really have to see what he gets. So what do you get? Oh, it looks like you're going to use it. Maybe on the 0-3 or on the 2-4. Oh, +1/+1 armor. Very good. So 3-5 again. An unfavorable trade. So we have to kind of understand what happened last turn. Antlr used a 4-mana turtle spell to basically fix the problem of another card's buff plus the 0-1 or the 1-mana trap. So I think it's basically trading maybe 2 or 3 mana for a 4-mana answer, and that answer may or may not have to have been saved for Gorm the Great or another Ajani Skirmisher. So let's see if Antlr can sort of find an answer out of this lack of board control. He has the life to sustain a few turns. Okay, 8/6 trample reach, but it as the upkeep, there's no real upkeep phase, but anyways, what it says is it'll take 2 of your mana gems. So next turn Antlr will have 6 mana, but really will only have access to 4. So let's see how Ajani can answer that. Stoneforge Mystic, maybe he can buff something for +4/+1 or give again something armor. So it can just sort of smash into the 8/6, at least for this turn. But it looks like the 8/6, no matter what happens, is going to get an attack next turn, at least do some damage. So what do you have? What do you have, Ajani? Because we can't see it from this view, but maybe he's going to cast a Daughter of Ruin and then the Ajani Skirmisher, so just sort of setting up the board, you know, to play that, whatever the buff he got from that Mystic. You know, those 2/3 cards, that Mystic Forge, they used to be a mythic card, but then Wizards of the Coast, I guess, turned it down to an elite card, or, yeah, an elite card. Higher than rare, right? So anyways, Ajani plays, oh yes, so there we go. Another armor. And you could block, I think you have to, but now it's going to die next turn. And the problem with that is that it's going to die and it's going to take your 2 mana. So it's going to take your 2 mana now, giving Antlr 4 mana, and then it's going to pass away the moment you know, attack with it. So basically, Blue Drogo is going to trade, or rather steal 2 mana for some HP. As it is, Antlr casts his Anticipate for 2 mana. I don't know if that's the answer, because maybe you want to cast Peer the Dreamer and something else to maximize your card draw, but as it is, maybe Mist Raven is the answer. So he has 2 Mist Ravens. He can bounce back the Ajani Skirmisher. He can bounce back Gorm the Great when it decides to come out. Antlr has some interesting decisions. Or he can do, yeah, he can do the 5/6 Worm, because you know the A2 is going to attack and die, and maybe just cast Peer the Dreamer, but the next turn, cast the 5/6 Worm and hope that can just start blocking and healing, because that's the ability of the Worm. So as it is, yeah, just sort of a chump block, right? To kill it, Blue Drogo has traded 5 HP for -2 mana. That's exactly what happened. Alright, so Antlr plays Peer the Dreamer. I don't know if he's going to chump block. It depends how big Blue Drogo can grow his guys this turn, or if he just takes a break and increases board control. So it looks like he is going to do... Are you going to do it? Are you going to buff your guys +2/+2? Or are you going to do the Daughter of Ruins and the Gorm the Great? Let's see. So I think he wants to just increase board pressure, but it looks like he's afraid of those unsummons. Alright, Strength of the Pride. Let's go all in. Let's bet on board control. And very good. As you can see there, he buffed his, of course, Ajani Skirmisher, making it a 6/6 with trample, but also the turtle. So that now the turtle is no longer a chump blocker. He can actually do damage. So that's a very good play, I think. And yeah, because that's 4 + 6 + 2 + 2. That's 10, that's 12, that's 14 on the board, but he blocks 4 damage. So now he plays Daughter of Ruins, and that I believe this is game-ending board control. Unless Antlr can pull off unsummon after unsummon, I don't see having an answer with the limited ability to have cards of 5 mana or less. I don't see there are going to be a lot of good answers. So Blue Drogo, finally Deep Forest Arena triggers. And okay, he's probably going to put on Gorm the Great because it gets +2/+2 and Ward. And as a trample card, I mean, that's just more damage, right? And it allows you to have that grudge match if it does damage. I mean, the dream is to play Gorm the Great and then have your Leonin Kincaller, that 3 mana guy, make another copy of Gorm the Great that is, you know, plus to stats and Ward. That's the dream. Anyways, as it is, interestingly enough, the 3/3 bird doesn't block the 2/3, but blocks the 2/5. So now Blue Drogo Ajani has a full board. And that 10-9 guy is so menacing. I think this is game. So Ajani couldn't make it and is not at 10 mana yet. Even at 10 mana, and if you were to get Tiny Pufferfish of Doom, it would need to be panned so that he can clear the board and sort of reset and then just deal with Gorm the Great with the ward and the 10-9. Yeah. I don't think there are any real answers to Gorm the Great, and that's unfortunate. So he's definitely going to go in, and let's see. Oh, he got the stag. I think he's going to kill that 3/1 bird, right? Maybe destroy his 2/2, because it's going to be the same thing anyways. Destroy the 2/2 guy with your stag, the 4 mana stag, kill the bird, and probably just attack with everything. Knowing that your 10-9 Gorm the Great is going to go in, is going to get a grudge match, and you can just make Leonin Kincaller. You can just make another copy, which would be just game-ending board pressure. So he doesn't go in with the 4/6, and I don't know why he doesn't go with the 4/6. I mean, sure, the 2/2 can get blocked and killed, but that 10-9 is a threat, and yeah, he gets the grudge match, and the 2/2 is going to die. And maybe he wants a grudge match because he's going to use the 4/6 to grudge match into that now 5/4 worm. So, Antlr is now at 3 HP, and that 5/4 is going to die no matter what. Yeah, it's going to be grudge match, right? Come on, you can do it. There we go. Grudge match, I think, yes, there we go. So 5/7 kills the 5/4, now it's a 5/2. Leonin Kincaller, the 10-5 Gorm. Leonin Kincaller himself is a 7/7 with armor, so I don't see a way out of this. You would need to have that bird, the unsummoned bird for 5 mana with a Panharmonicon. Or you would need to Panharmonicon Tiny Pufferfish of Doom to basically unsummon 4 creatures, but I just don't see that happening. Yeah, and he doesn't even have those cards, Antlr. So unfortunately, this is going to be the end of Antlr. So let's just see how. So Ajani decides to style in. Why not? 3/4, kill the 3/3. Yep, there we go. Attack with everything and absolutely obliterate Antlr.
Finish him!
Yeah, no matter what he does, it's the end of the game. So, well done, Ajani. Well done, Blue Drogo. Good try there, Ajani. You know, it was a best 2 out of 3, and we'll see you in the next round. But again, I want to give a shout out to Antlr. Thank you for editing the videos. And well done, Blue Drogo. So you're going to go on to the next round. If you guys liked what you saw today, please like and subscribe. Or leave a comment, and visit our Patreon if you would like to listen to the podcast or get that shirt. I believe it's, mop is not a mop without a pen. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.